Yeah, it's funny that you bring up fans, Mark, because this is kind of something that I've had that kind of ties into that as well. So, have you ever had an us against the world mentality, Mark?
Yup.
Okay. So you've had it. I've had it. I mean, I think all of us had it at some point. It's really an effective mechanism when it comes to a single individual going about their daily lives, proving doubters wrong. And that's always nice and enjoyable when you get one up on all those naysayers saying, hey, I told you I could do it and you proved me wrong otherwise. But the thing is, Mark, there are times when this kind of method is taken into the wrong context. And sometimes that applies to sports fans, whether it's fans that feel disrespected by more popular athletes or in the mainstream media. They'll always, play that card, the us against a mentality card, to psych themselves up. And I say to all sports fans that you need to stop this, because in hindsight, having that mentality does you more harm and makes you look foolish than you think it does. That's why my unpopular opinion is sports fans need to quit this us against the world mindset.
What?
Now here's the thing. I've come up with 3 reasons besides the obvious one that we're not part of the teams, even though we support and root through them through thick and thin. The first reason is you use this method incorrectly because you have an incorrect mindset of everyone despising you over one silly loss. Think about Kevin Durant and Draymond Green on Team USA in the Olympics. They lost to France in a preliminary game. Everyone's like, uh-oh, is this trouble? Is the United States team not going to win the gold medal and everything? Well, fortunately, they turned the tides. They won the gold medal. But Kevin Durant and Draymond Green were like saying stuff like, hey, where are the haters now and everything? Like, haha, we told you so. Excuse me, haters? Guys, you were supposed to win the gold medal and you did your job. Nobody hated you unless you failed to win it all. That's inexcusable behavior. So that's one reason. The second reason, you have a successful achievement, but you still like to keep that mentality even when life is good for you or you don't seem to appreciate it. Let's go back to Cleveland, Ohio in 2016. Cavaliers just won a championship. LeBron James and his teammates are going to a formerly Cleveland Indians postseason baseball game. LeBron speaks to the crowd on the mic. He says, it's us against the world. Yeah. Cleveland goes on a run. They go to the World Series. They're up 3-1. Now, how did the Cavaliers win the championship? Down 3-1 to a mighty team, right? Well, Cleveland's baseball team does the exact opposite and blows a 3-1 team to the Chicago Cubs. And as of right now, they have the longest drought in all of professional sports. All because of that silly mindset. And then, this is one that hurts me to say the most, because you can express that in messages, symbols, and on social media because you feel like everyone hates you, even with or without controversy and scandal amidst your teams. It can lead to a divided and paranoid city. And I'm sad to say there's only one city right now that fits the narrative. It's a city that I love to death. It's a city that I'm from. I'm sorry to do this. A certain team, who I will not say for reasons that still anger me to this day, decides to have shirts printed out that said, Houston versus everyone. Now, every city has a shirt like that. I get it. But when I see that shirt, Mark, I think of failure. We get to the World Series last year and we came up short. But we already have reasons why people despise us, and yet we still act like we deserve respect and the media hates us for no reason. We're not the only city that feels that way, but the reality is we're not doing anything to make an impression on the media. I really hate to do this, Mark, but I have no choice. It's time for a K-Rock attack.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I'm calling out my hometown fans. Here's the reality of our sports teams. We got 2 rebuilding teams that are trying to lay the foundation for future successes, and yet fans are afraid to go along for the ride because they're not used to it. Our best team, I like to give a shout out to my brother, Andrew. He's got a podcast of his own, and he and I have been talking about this situation. He says that our best team's got a 3 to 4 year window to contend for championships, maybe 6 to 8 if things work out. And yet they're still dealing with negative consequences while trying to get themselves another ring, and the division they're in is getting better. What exactly are we doing right now that's making an impression on the elite at the top right now? Nothing. Yet we feel we deserve respect when we play the everyone hates us crowd when we're not successful. Yo, we're not New York. We're not Los Angeles. We're not Boston. We're not even Dallas, for crying out loud. We're not at that level yet. That's why I'm frustrated and embarrassed to be a Houstonian right now. We're acting like a bunch of cowards, and we need to settle down. I'm going to go out the window right now after this podcast and stick my face and yell, I'm as mad as heck, and I'm not going to take this anymore. So here's what I'm proposing.
Okay.
I'm going to make a guarantee.
Ooh.
The biggest guarantee of my life. My guarantee
Hot
rate.
Pocket.
Yeah, well, it's bigger than that. My guarantee rate might not be as high as your level, Mark, but I could care less. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll man up and say I'm wrong. I'm only asking for everyone in the H to settle down, stop believing in the negative stuff, ignore whatever disrespect, whether deserved or not, comes, and focus on trying to root for our teams to do what we want to do. I'm raising the stakes here. If anyone wants on board with me, come join me. If anyone wants off and wants to say I'm a stupid moron with a big ugly face and delusional, that's fine. I don't care, okay? Now, I posted a tweet a few years ago saying in an estimated range of 20 to 34 years, will the city have another championship? Well, I'm firing the first shot right now. Remember when I said the Rockets will win a championship at the end of the decade as one of my hot pockets? Now, that still holds up. If John F. Kennedy guaranteed that we would put a man on the moon by the end of the 60s, then I guarantee by the end of the decade, the Rockets will have ring number 3, the Astros will have ring number 2, and the Texans will make their first Super Bowl, and they will win. No hurricane, alien attack in Independence Day, or tis but a scratch stupid comment by child reporters named Bill Simmons, Stephen A. Smith, or Michael Wilburn will hurt our city. Only we can hurt our city. And Mark, I believe we can apply this to New Orleans as well, because you've had your fair share of issues at that. So look, I apologize for the monologue. It's been something that's been on my mind for the past God knows how long. Fans need to quit this us against the world mentality. I know I had to call out my hometown and its fans, and I'm sorry. I love the H as always, and I know I've said stuff like this in the past, but I promise you that's how I feel. I'm just saying.